WWE 2k announced this week that they are going to be adding in 6 new changes to the game. So 6 changes that are going to overhaul some existing things, and 6 things that will make a big difference, and in addition to their roster reveal as well. So this has been a much better build up to this game. They also released some gameplay of the ladder match and the backstage brawl, which I thought both gameplays were really good, especially the backstage brawl. That really looked fantastic. I think that's probably the best backstage brawl they've ever produced, because not only, we'll probably talk more about this later, but not only can we, fight backstage, but we can enter in different rooms, and we even saw Triple H appearing there, maybe add some storyline elements to the matches as well. So there's a lot they could really do there, and it has a lot of potential though. So that's a really great change. But IGN posted up this, so we'll talk about it now. 6 biggest changes so far for WWE 2k17. So the first one is the ladder match overhaul. So basically, they're trying to really replicate a real-life ladder match. One of the issues that they've had, and this will roll on to the next change as well, is they've had, wrestlers don't stay down for very long. In real life, it's mainly one-on-one. Even if it's a fatal 4-way or triple threat, generally they take one guy out of the match, he lays down for 20 minutes and has a nap. In the real game, you don't really get that type of gameplay. You don't really get that, as it's just bang, 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 go, and it can be very frantic, very chaotic, and also can be very difficult to actually get a ending to a match, because pinfalls will be broken up constantly, or someone's always climbing a ladder, someone's always falling a ladder. It doesn't really create a realistic and good match, let's be honest. So one of the things they're trying to do this year is trying to, help that. But first up, with the ladder match, they've changed it so the ladder can only be set up in 5 specific locations. So this time, you can't set the ladder up and obviously climb, and you're nowhere near the title. So now, it'll automatically set it up in a spot that will have an impact, which is good. You can also set up a ladder as a bridge from the apron to the outside barrier, opening up a lot of new opportunities. So I think this is a really good change. I don't play a lot of ladder matches, only when it's really, TLC, or sometimes I'll throw one in here and there for Universe Mode, occasionally on a pay-per-view. So I don't really do too much ladder matches, and one of the reasons is because quite often they don't last very long. The CPU can get the briefcase or the championship belt far too easy, and it doesn't really create that great of a match, because they're just fighting over climbing up the ladder and up there. They don't really fight in the ring, don't really create a great match. They don't really set up for much. So I wonder if they've kind of noticed that and worked on that a little bit, but we'll see. So it's first of all not a bad start. The next one is kind of rolling onto what we were saying a moment ago, and that's the rollout system. So when a member of a multi-person match takes a big burst of damage, they'll be forced to roll out of the ring, so they'll be ringside, and where they'll take a rest for a while. So I think this is really good, because if someone gets hit with a finisher, they'll just lay there in the ring. Instead, now the change will force them to go outside the ring. They'll be taken out of the action, and they can focus on the guys left in the ring, and it might obviously give a big opportunity for something big to happen without someone being able to get up quickly and make a bit of a, break it up or whatever. I think this is a good change. I think this will give a bit more of a realistic feel, and this is a bit of a touchy subject. I think what people really want out of WWE games. I think there's one portion of people who want the arcade system, and one portion who want the simulated style system. Now, I want to know in the comments below, which side are you? Because to me, I like the simulated system. The arcade games, like you go back to the SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain games, or whatever, it's just go. It's just crazy. And they hit a finisher, and 3 seconds later, they're back up on their feet. To me, it's not really realistic. You don't really see that in real life. So I like the simulated, more trying to emulate real WWE style gameplay. So I like what they're trying to do here, and I think this is a good change. And so far, definitely so good. And the next up is the backstage brawls, or the fighting in the crowd. Now, we talked about this a moment ago with the backstage brawl, but the fighting in the crowd obviously was something that we kind of looked at a few weeks ago, and with some of the screenshots, and we kind of speculated that that could be coming. But now it is absolutely confirmed, and you can have a backstage brawl match, and you can also fight in the crowd during any match. So that's really, really cool. I like that. The person writing the article didn't really get a chance to fight in the crowd, so we don't really know too much about that yet, at least from what I'm reading here. But that's going to be really, really interesting. And I think there's a few OMG moments as well. So there's obviously a lot they can really branch out through there. And obviously, since it's available in every match, you might see the CPU use it quite a lot, because they do generally go outside the ring a lot. And I think now it will really make matches very, very interesting, and perhaps add a few more exciting elements to it. So hopefully there is a lot to do in that area. I don't think it's going to be full on. You can go anywhere in the arena and fight. I think it's only going to be one, a little part of the arena you can fight in, but that's still better than nothing. Next up, the new change is taunting. So they're trying to really make taunts a little bit more useful, rather than just a temporary boost to momentum. Now some taunts will give you a damage boost, some will increase the rate of you gain of momentum. So they're trying to make taunts a little bit more useful and have a bit more of a reason to exist, I guess. So that's good. I think the taunting has been pretty shitty in the last few games. It certainly doesn't give you that much of a momentum boost. There's really no point even doing it. I don't even know if it does give you a momentum boost, to be honest with you. So it's good they're actually going to try and do something a little bit more with that. And obviously different people have different abilities with their taunts, so that will certainly be very, very good. And a couple more here to go. Major reversals play a bigger role. So major reversals were a new addition last year, so in 2k16, but they had a very narrow timing window. So now they're trying to make that a little bit more easier, and you get a bit more of an offensive boost. A successful major reversal locks out your opponent's ability to perform reversals on their own. So trying to make major reversals really, really good, and kind of make things much easier for you. Finally, the last change is chain wrestling and submission changes. So what they're going to do with chain wrestling, generally every time you start a match, unless, for whatever reason, the opponent's you kind of beat your opponent down for enough in the first couple of minutes, you'll avoid it. But generally, every match will start with a chain wrestling, which is what happens in real life. But now they're kind of changing that a little bit. It's no longer automatically engaged at the start. It'll happen if two wrestlers try to grapple each other at the same time, which I think is the way to go. I think that's how it probably should be. And instead of just automatically, you grapple someone, you try to hit a move with someone, but just because it hasn't been long enough in the opening stage of the match, chain wrestling might still happen. And chain wrestling doesn't even really happen later on in a match either, when that could still definitely happen. So I think it's good that if two at the same time try to grapple each other, now chain wrestling will happen again. So, and finally, submission system. They're trying to basically give you more control on the submissions. Submissions in 2k16 were absolutely a waste of time. I never played, or never watched a match, and I've watched many for my universe mode. Never watched a match where a computer tapped out another. So basically, anyone that had a submission as a finisher was absolutely useless. They would never really win, and so much so that most of the time I had to go and edit the moves and take out that submission move, so these guys had a damn chance of winning, otherwise they would lose every match. So that's going to be a major, major concern for 2k17. So I'm hoping that they can fix this, and hoping that they can actually make it so submissions work again. This is the thing, like a couple of years ago, I can't remember which game it was, it might have been 2k14, submissions were happening far too often. It was so easy. So then they radically changed it, and now it's so hard. So they need to try and find a happy medium there, and hopefully they can do that, because submissions are a big part of the game, and a lot of people use submissions. A lot of wrestlers have that in their arsenal moves, and some submissions are really, really cool. So I really hope that we can kind of bring that back, and big submissions can really play a major role, rather than basically just having them there. They put it in for 5 seconds and it breaks out. Every time there's a submission that goes in, you basically know it's not going to make your opponent tap it unless you're controlling the submission. So a CPU versus CPU, it's basically useless. So there's the major changes that they're going to implement into this game. Obviously, they've showed some screenshots as well, which I didn't get a chance to see. They actually didn't have them available when I did my roster reveal video the other day. But a lot of people really criticizing the game's graphics. And I think it's a bit of a running joke at this point that, oh, this game looks like it's a PS2 game. But honestly, to me, I'm really finding that really annoying at this point. Now, I probably will stick up for 2K a little bit here. I really like the changes they're implementing here. As an avid player, I've been playing it religiously since WWE 13, so I've been really playing it quite a lot, and I've seen the good and the bad times, and the last few games have been pretty bad. So the changes they're going to do here look pretty good. The graphics, whilst they're not really an improvement, I still think they're up to scratch. I still don't think they need to radically change anything there, really spend too much time trying to overhaul the graphics. I think they look good. And anyone who thinks it's a PS2 game graphics need to slap themselves in the face and get their head out of their ass, because it's not. I went ahead and played SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 a couple days ago, and the graphics are definitely not on the level of WWE 2K. So let's be honest. Yes, they're hyperboling the situation. Yes, they're exaggerating, and they're trying to emphasize that the graphics are so shit. By comparing it, I get that. But still, they're not bad. They're good. They're good enough. And it's time that they don't focus on graphics right now. They need to focus on game modes and gameplay and really improving that. And that's what they're doing. A couple of years ago, 2K15, all they focused on was getting the graphics good. Really shitty career mode, boring game modes to play. The gameplay was crap. 2K15 sucked. 2K16, a minor improvement. Hopefully 2K17, they get some of these things right and start really forming a great WWE game. They're getting close. They're not quite there yet still, but they are getting close to really creating a great game. And I think it's time we start to show them a little bit more positivity. What they've done so far is really good signs. What they've done is really promising. Now, obviously a lot more gameplay features have been announced as well that we haven't got into yet. Now, I know this is going to be a long segment. I apologize. We're going to get into the wrestling chat soon, but there's a lot more changes as well. And we're not going to talk about the gameplay so much here, but some of the creation things, they're really trying to advance that as well. They're adding in a full highlight replay system, which allows people to record video highlights for the matches, which is cool. And they also have a create a video feature, which is cool. So those things can be used to create custom entrance Titantron videos for superstars, which is great. Obviously, if there's a few people that probably won't be in the game, maybe someone like Bobby Roode, for example, we can create some gameplay in-game and create a Titantron from them so it's a bit more authentic. Also, deepened the create a show feature and added a brand new create a victory feature to ensure everyone can create the most comprehensive WWE experience possible. So they're obviously expanding their creation features, which is really good. That's probably one of the main drawing points for WWE games is their customization options. And the last few games have been pretty weak. So now they're trying to improve on that, which is really cool. No more showcase mode, and I couldn't be happier. I hate showcase mode. I didn't play a single match in showcase mode on 2K16. I played a little bit of on 2K15, but I hated it. Honestly, I hate showcase mode, and I'm glad it's going. Let's take a look at showcase mode, and what is it? You're just going back and replaying matches in a storyline or a person's career that we can go and relive in the WWE Network. It's not like we're playing fantasy matches, not like we're creating storylines, new unique storylines. We're just going back and rehashing what's already been done. So to me, showcase mode is just boring. You know, some feuds were kind of seen done to death, and you know, you have to go back and replay that all again on the game. It's not exciting, honestly. I just never really liked doing it, and I'm glad that they are taking it out to focus on the game modes that I think are much more interesting, and that's universe mode and career mode. So some new features for universe mode. This is obviously my bread and butter. This is what I'm excited for, and I can't wait. So what they're really trying to do is really create more of a show type of feel, which is what I've been wanting for a long time. So They have a new show presentation system, which makes players feel like they're playing through weekly episodes of any WWE show, which is great. That's what I want now. They didn't really expand too much in that, but I'm really, really happy about that. Now, you can also create run-ins as well as pre- and post-match attacks, which is awesome. You guys know that my universe mode, I really try to integrate that a lot, but obviously it's not that great. There's not really any way that I can make it look very good. But now they're going to actually have that available in the game. That is awesome. So just think how great my universe mode can be now. My universe mode has always been limited via the game. You know, the game has always been the reason why my universe mode doesn't go to the next level, you know. So now we can try and use some of these new features to make the universe mode much, much greater. And now a big feature in the game as well is promos. So they're going to have a brand new promo engine that lets the WWE superstars express their thoughts and emotions to the WWE universe mode and one another. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. Creates a new dynamic experience and brings you closer to the actual WWE better than ever. And they're revamping all the universe mode cutscenes, including some familiar and brand new scenarios. So basically, we're going to have promos, we're going to have the ability to have more cutscenes and kind of use them a lot better. Universe mode is going to be great. So we're going to have cutscenes happening more often. Hopefully we can kind of just say, we want this cutscene right now. Hopefully we have all the control, because that's what we want. This is like our show, and we shouldn't have to rely on randomness. We should be able to just say, I want this cutscene to happen for this match. And I want to be able to create the whole show myself. I want to create my own WWE universe. And that's what it should be. They haven't really replicated it. They haven't really done that. These changes really suggest they're getting a lot closer to achieving that. So Career Mode will also have the promo engine as well. They're trying to revamp the backstage interviews because they were really, really bad. And they're also having backstage brawls. And their attire can now make a difference in their journey. And they'll come face to face with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. So yeah, a few things there for Career Mode. Nothing really groundbreaking. But there's the new features for WWE 2k17. And I really am excited for WWE 2k17. I think this could be the year where we finally get the game that we've been waiting for. Like I said, there's a few different things I could go in for another video, another time, and really suggest a lot of changes that I would like to see again. You guys know that I really want to see GM mode return, things like that. But for what they're really suggesting here, this is really sounding really, really good. So I'm very, very excited for WWE 2k17. I hope you guys are too. So I'd like to know in your comments below your thoughts on the new WWE 2k17 features. And let me know if you are excited for the WWE 2k17 game.